On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Oh, I'm on my way to Orange from the Central Coast. Driving whilst doing a vlog. I love technology. Rode this morning, 50k. Matt and I did a cheeky 50k ride on the roadies. Feeling pretty good, pushing some good power, I think. Jumped in the ice, the cold plunge afterwards, new cold plunge. That challenges me to say the least. Yeah, it's just the cold plunge is something else. It's ice bars get you cold. A cold plunge is pure, like, my body's numb from head to toe. My whole body is numb. Ice baths just don't quite hit that same spot. Like, oh, it's something else, I tell you. I tell you what, cold exposure, one of my greatest fears. I think it stems from a childhood when I was, actually I don't want to talk about it, it's just a traumatic experience of cold water when I was a child, but I want to focus on positive things. Christmas Day was beautiful. There's a small amount of family drama, not my family, Emma's family. Christmas brings us together as individuals, and there's often a lot of tension there, isn't there, for families? It's interesting. I observe, I see other families and their connection and the way that people interact, and some observations for myself. I feel like people that I know, I'm a bit judgmental of them internally. I don't say things, but I think things, and it's like, that's okay to think like that. I think it's just a natural filter being applied to people with judgment. But I was trying to come back to gratitude and love, and it challenged me trying to connect with people. I feel like I keep expanding and growing, and the distance between myself and people, not everyone, but where I'm at with my personal development journey, there's a bit more of a gap, I feel, forms, and then I find there's more work that I need to do internally to be and sit with and appreciate and connect with all individuals. Something like, I guess, it's an inherent belief. Like, an example is I sit with people at Soul Hub, and I feel there's no judgment in that container. Not none, but a lot less judgment. But then people who I know, or friends or family, and there's this underlying thought of like, we'll fucking do, like, people are negatively biased towards things, and in my mind I'm like, we'll fucking do something about it. But I need to come back to empathy and know that when you flip that, it's like, look at myself when I was in my darkest times and I wasn't much fun to hang around with, and people still gave me the time and presence, and just acknowledging that. I think a thing that I keep coming back to is everyone is a mirror for the self in any aspect of life. So people are, I guess, passing judgment is like, I don't fully accept myself if there's judgment there of others. Like, it's just a mirror to me. So it's like, where do I need to improve in my life? What do I need to work on? Just being content with as is, and not trying to, I put so much pressure on myself, and I acknowledge that, and I know it's something that takes a lot of mental bandwidth for me. So trying to conserve energy. Today's been a little bit of a roller coaster. I was in a pretty deep sleep, which is good. Took magnesium last night and I wasn't like wide awake at 4:30. My alarm woke me. In hindsight, it probably would have been nice to get another couple of hours sleep in there to recharge. Felt good going to the bike ride and ice bath, and I started doing some of my content, which I'm just calling it the work, because it is doing the work and I don't hate it. I enjoy the process. It's learning and growing and just getting the reps up, to be honest. But after that I like crashed. I was just like so tired, a bit of a power nap, and recharged and went again. And there's oh my god, someone eating Domino's pizza. I'm 21 and a half hours through a 24-hour water fast. That's last week. It was like supercharged me. It's like I felt like I was on drugs nearly, not like still fully coherent, but I was like buzzing last week, and this week I'm just like, oof. But it's chasing that feeling too. It's like, oh, I had this crazy experience fasting and on a high, and then it's like when you don't get that, then you can feel yourself with disappointment when your desired outcome doesn't meet your reality. That's when we live in pain. Blue Mountain Sushi. Oh, why me? I'm so hungry. Look, you can see my ribs. So hungry. I could eat a low-flying duck, but oh, so soon. I keep clock watching. I just don't. Sometimes I feel like driving. Long distance driving is just not for me. It just doesn't stimulate my brain at the moment. I'd rather be sleeping in a car or something as opposed to driving for 7 hours. I can't wait for the day where you can like jump in a Tesla and just tell it to take you to Orange and you wake up there. It's like teleporting. I think the way that my brain functions is like, it's just such inefficient use of time traveling, but it's also inevitable and just accepting it. And it's like I've made a decision to travel out to Mum's and it takes 4 hours 20 minutes and I can't. Yes, I could speed and get there in 4 hours 20 minutes, but the more I think about it and try and process the thought and come to terms with it and make myself not feel impatient, it doesn't really achieve anything, just burning through burning more calories. Be nice to spend time with Mum and Wayne. I was out here about I don't even know how long it was, 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's nice to be back out here. Oh, I had some sparkling water before. That was like the highlight of my day. It's like, oh my god, what's my life come to? Sparkling water is the highlight of my day. Wow. How, my, how things have changed, haven't they? I've decided I'm not doing drugs or alcohol on New Year's. Not a hard challenge for me. My challenge is diet and sugar. I find it more difficult. New Year's I can be myself and have a good time without any substances. Life is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. tomorrow, spend it with Mum and Wayne. Day after, head back up to Newcastle. Pushing ahead with all that is in my world and content, brand, making reels, flying my drone, just hopefully get a couple of days to just like focus on things that I prioritize less, like flying my FPV drone. Hopefully get a flight in tomorrow. Actually, I've got it with me, take it out to Mum's, connecting with people more. Need to prioritize that in my life a little. I think what challenges me with connection is it's an open-ended thing for so many people, and I have such high standards and expectations for myself. I guess just verbalizing them and being intentional with people. It's like, oh yeah, we can catch up for coffee, but I don't have 3 hours. As beautiful as that is, it's like I have to be disciplined in order to achieve and maintain the lifestyle that I desire. What's some words of advice for today? Love thyself. We are so critical of ourselves. We're our own worst critic. And how do we become our greatest fan? What can we do to acknowledge ourselves, give ourselves the grace that we deserve, give ourselves the presence, give ourselves the love, give ourselves the acknowledgement, the patience, the time, the warmth, the generosity? How do we bring that back to self? It's a very giving time of year. We prioritize others at the sacrifice of ourselves. We prioritize others at the sacrifice of self. So true. So many examples of that, isn't there? Even myself, I do it. I can be quite selfish, and selfish isn't a bad thing. Selfish is actually, in most circumstances, it's a good thing to be able to practice that and look after self. Being kind and nurturing, but also I think self-love is being firm with yourself. We all know when we are not sticking to our standards or our boundaries that we have for others and ourselves, and we know that, but we don't acknowledge it. So I know for me it's like a felt sense, and I know when I don't have to have a strict like plan of action for what I do in my life, but I